Hello, everyone, and welcome to Google Cloud Next 2022. Yes, it is finally here. I'm Stephanie Wong, and I am coming to you live from the studio right here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I know, this is really exciting, right? We are actually getting started, and this is happening. First and foremost, thank you so much for showing up early. We are excited to share our biggest product launches, keynotes, can't miss demos, and more. We'll hear from Google thought leaders as they share major announcements, and yes, there is a lot to talk about. So let's get started with what's in store for you. We have 24 hours of live broadcasts and 3 full days of content for you to consume wherever you are in the world. We are chasing the sun around the globe, coming to you live from 5 cities: New York City, San Francisco, Tokyo, Bengaluru, and Munich. And don't forget, at any time you have learning at your fingertips, check out our on-demand breakout session at cloud.withgoogle.com/next. And also, customize your playlist to watch or re-watch your favorite moments anytime, anywhere. We are so thrilled to be here in person, and our live audience is just beginning to arrive. But right now, we're going to spotlight some winners from our Google Cloud Partner Awards. They helped customers turn challenges into opportunities. Our partners stand out amongst the crowd for their creative spirit, commitment to excellence, and customer-first approach. Kudos to all that you do. A huge congratulations to all Partner Award winners, and thanks for solving some of today's biggest challenges with us. We are so proud to recognize your achievements. All right, now let's see a sneak peek at our production and show you what Next 2022 is all about. We're making sure Showtime delivers all the googly fun and adventure for you. Let's go live over to New York City, where the keynote will be happening in Google's brand new Workspace at the historic Pier 57. It's so great to see these preparations happen. We are so thrilled to see people back, face-to-face, and in person. And speaking of being thrilled, let's share the thrill for some of the winners of our annual Google Cloud Customer Awards. These awards spotlight organizations around the world that adapt to the demands of today and tomorrow, turning inspiring ideas into exciting realities. We received an unprecedented number of entries and are proud of what's been achieved with cloud technologies. So let's take a look at our winners. Wow, incredible, right? It's so amazing to see what our customers and partners have been doing. All right, did I mention we are in 5 global locations today? So let's head back to the San Francisco Bay now and get a sneak peek of the developer keynote production happening on our very own Google Cloud campus. Now it's time to shine a spotlight on a few more stars, our sponsoring partners. These partners solved real-world business challenges and are sharing how they leverage the Google Cloud partner ecosystem to help them achieve these goals. Up first, let's highlight Origin Energy, who partnered with Accenture and Google Cloud to launch the Origin Solar Growth Platform app.
The tool uses 3D data, visual AI, and advanced analytics to show customers how solar panels can help save on energy. It can measure things like roof pitch, area, and energy consumption to calculate the most suitable solar products for any household. This innovation is a great example of how we can equip homes with solutions to make a difference.
Up next, we have a great story about how Atos and Google Workspace paved the way for global payments, one of the largest payment technology companies to migrate critical workloads and core applications to Google Cloud.
The cultural shift engendered by Atos Vmware and Google Workspace changed the way we as a company perceive the capabilities of the cloud. If Google can run everything we rely upon, can we run our workloads in the cloud to support our customers? And if we can run workloads, we can modernize.
And now, let's hear how CME Group and Deloitte created a Google Cloud Experience team to help CME groups shift to Google Cloud.
The CloudX team was the first thing we set up, ensuring that there was proficiency in both platform and software tools and a common set of goals to communicate to other teams. The goal was not only to improve the productivity of our platform team, allowing them to focus on their delivery, but to increase the velocity of our application migration teams as well.
We are so pleased to celebrate these outstanding partners who are turning challenges into opportunities. You can watch these stories of transformation in the Customer Innovation series at 11:30 a.m. following the keynote. Amazing! What an exciting event so far, right? And we are just getting started. Congratulations to our global winners and a big thank you to all of our Google Cloud partners that are enabling and accelerating cloud transformation for our customers every day. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It is going to be a very exciting 3 days. Don't forget to build your custom playlist, share it on social, and join the conversation on Twitter and LinkedIn with #GoogleCloudNext. Okay, so the keynote is about to begin, so enjoy the show.
Today, it's uncertain.
It's gonna be a crazy day, Huey.
It's also unwritten.
You got this.
Today is the day we can start to change things. Make things better and make better things. Let's take on problems, big or small.
Hey, it's lunchtime.
Not yet, I'm coding!
Because they're all worth solving. Let's make tech more helpful, more open, and accessible to everyone. Let's keep data safe and people safe. Look after the environment and each other. Today may surprise us, push us, even scare us. That's why we're here. Let's take those challenges and make something even better for tomorrow.
Please welcome our CEO of Google Cloud, Thomas Kurian.
Wow. Hello, welcome to Cloud Next. It's wonderful to join you from New York to begin our global 24-hour broadcast with keynotes happening live here in New York, San Francisco, Tokyo, Bengaluru, and Munich. It's my pleasure now to kick off today by welcoming Google and Alphabet CEO, Sundar Pichai.
Thank you, Thomas. And thanks to everyone joining us today. Wish I could be there with you in person. I'm glad that today's event spans the globe. It's a representation of the hybrid world we live in today. We're honored to build products that help make this hybrid reality work even better. From Google Workspace, the productivity and collaboration apps that help 3 billion users, including us, get things done, to the cybersecurity that keeps customers safe. And we are doing it all on the cleanest cloud in the industry. We are seeing incredible momentum. Cloud is one of our fastest growing businesses. In Q2, we were at a $25 billion annual revenue run rate. Google Cloud helps us advance our mission and makes Google work better. It's what enables us to share innovation and investment from across Google with companies, governments, and organizations worldwide. For example, we developed our global network, including 22 subsea cables, to bolster our infrastructure and improve the performance of our products like YouTube. Now it's available to our customers as well. We developed BigQuery to help our search customers, and now every company has access to the most powerful analytics. And because we invested for years in threat analysis to protect everyone who uses Google, we can help provide that same protection to countries and companies with Google Cloud. AI is another really important area for Google Cloud. Google has long been an AI-first company. We've made progress in some of the most challenging areas of research, including translation, computer vision, and natural language processing. These advances are powering helpful product innovations, from enabling people to search using video and text simultaneously, to summarizing long documents and highlighting what matters. Google is also applying cloud AI tools to help solve our own business challenges. I'll give you an example. Google's products are used by people around the world who speak thousands of different dialects and languages. It's really important we can provide translations so everyone can access them. Advances in AI are making it easier to translate languages, including languages that aren't well represented on the web. Earlier this year, we added 24 new languages to Google Translate with machine learning techniques that can translate new languages without ever seeing a direct translation. Advances like these, along with Google Cloud AutoML and the help of local experts, enable us to translate more content than ever before. Today, we are launching Translation Hub to bring these capabilities to deliver translation at scale for all of you. It is Google Cloud's AI agent that helps companies translate content in over 135 languages. It takes full documents, including images, and translates them while preserving layouts and formatting, enabling researchers to share their findings with global audiences, helps providers of goods and services to reach underserved markets, and governments to better serve all of their constituents. Translation Hub joins other AI agents from Google Cloud that apply AI to common business tasks. Fortune 500 company Avery Dennison is using Translation Hub to translate internal communications and engage employees globally. This capability promotes a more inclusive workplace, with employees able to communicate and be understood. Translation is one way AI is becoming more accessible and common. We are seeing more examples every day. During the pandemic, more than half of companies accelerated their AI adoption plans, and 86% said that it's becoming a mainstream technology. We are at a tipping point, and companies are turning to Google Cloud to help. One of the most powerful AI applications for organizations is the ability to extract insights and predictions from their data, specific to their business needs. For example, Munich Re, one of the leading reinsurance companies in the world, is collaborating with Google Cloud to use AI to respond to natural disasters quickly and thoroughly. Our tools help them to build better damage detection models faster and more cost efficiently. This speeds up response time, helping get people and resources where they are needed most. Likewise, Frontier Development Lab, in partnership with NASA, Google Cloud, and others, has created the first 360-degree view of the sun. Using AI, they combine data from 3 NASA satellites, making it possible to observe the sun from any vantage point. This will help scientists better predict the impact of the sun's activity on our planet. They're also using AI to see the moon's permanently shadowed regions as if it were daylight, an important step in lunar exploration. Finally, they've built models that take existing satellite images and transform them to represent accurate flood predictions. This helps planners and rescue groups anticipate the impact of flooding to better protect communities. Looking ahead, there is a new frontier of computing that will extend this further. From augmented reality that delivers translation and transcription directly in your line of sight, to advances in hardware and software that make it feel like you're in the same room as a coworker miles away. That's a new technology we've been working on called Project Starline. It creates a 3D model of a person, making it feel like you're sitting with someone in the same room, not at the other end of a video call. After thousands of hours of testing in our own offices, including demos with enterprise partners, we are seeing promising results. Users noted the powerful ability to make eye contact and how much more engaged and connected they felt. Today, we are announcing an early access program with enterprise partners, including Salesforce and T-Mobile. Starting this year, we'll begin installing Starline prototypes in select partner offices for daily testing. It's a really exciting next step, and we are looking forward to improving this technology together. When more people, businesses, and organizations have access to the power of advanced technologies, amazing things happen. That's what I see as the future of Google Cloud, and we are grateful for the opportunity to partner with you on this journey. Thank you all for being part of Cloud Next, and back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Sundar. I'd like to thank our sponsors who've helped make this event so successful and who help make our customers successful every day, especially our luminary sponsors, Accenture, Atos, C3 AI, and Deloitte. Now, our vision for cloud computing is to simplify all of the technology that organizations need making it accessible by simplification to every organization around the world as software platforms that provide the foundation for your business to digitize and accelerate. At Next, you'll hear directly from leading companies in every industry and geography who have accelerated their transformation with Google Cloud. In media, Global live streamed the Tokyo Olympics to all of Latin America and hosted over 55 events. In automotive, Group Renault analyzes more than 1 billion data sets from their factories every single day, saving more than 100 million euros in 2021 alone. In retail, H&M Group is improving its customer experience and optimizing its internal supply chains. Home Depot saved 30% by consolidating and modernizing its systems. And Fnac Darty in France is converting more customers with Google quality search and recommendations. In telecommunications, for instance, Bell Canada is deploying 5G network functions in less than a week, compared to the industry standard of over 6 months. In healthcare, Johns Hopkins Brain Injury Outcomes Division reduced some brain scan review times from 5 hours to just 30 seconds. We're helping financial services companies transform too. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or CME Group, now offers real-time market data for about 90% less cost. Prudential PLC is enhancing health and financial inclusion across all of Africa and Asia. ANZ Bank is giving actionable insights 250 times faster. Commerzbank migrated 135 databases to run on Google Cloud across 35 applications in less than 9 months. And Mina Bank in Japan runs its core banking system on Google Cloud. So as you can see, Google Cloud is accelerating the transformation of global leaders in every industry. Google Workspace today helps 8 million customers to transform the way they work, up from 6 million just 2 years ago. And we continue to be the top cloud for technology companies. Did you know that 70% of the top 100 unicorns in the world run on Google Cloud, including ShareChat in India, Tokopedia in Indonesia, Sift Analytics in Africa, Wix in Europe, and DoorDash in the United States. Now let's hear directly from a few of our customers.
Through AI, we can reach more people globally when and where they want it. It's the power of representation. It's giving Spanish-speaking audiences content specifically made for them, by them.
Analyzing CAT scans for precise information about a patient's lesion used to take over 10 hours, and now we can do this in under 2 minutes.
Sustainability is absolutely critical to our consumers. With Google Cloud, we can build a much more traceable and transparent supply chain. This helps us to stop deforestation and combat climate change.
Google Cloud helps us monitor risk across vast amounts of data. We care deeply about the financial well-being of institutions, corporations, and individuals.
Data is a foundational need for Twitter, and that data is really responsible for connecting people to their interests, connecting interests amongst each other, and having that deeper conversation.
You know, last year at Next, we talked about the 5 most important questions leading companies are asking themselves to ensure they're transforming the fastest. Ford is a leader in the automotive industry, and it's rapidly transforming by adopting technology. We're very proud to have CEO Jim Farley discuss the journey with us.
Thanks, Thomas, and hi, everyone. It's so great to be with all of you. At the heart of our business at Ford is a commitment to meet the evolving needs of our customers. Now, that is a lot of corporate speak, but I want to spend time with you today to bring to life our transformation. Technology, in particular, digital capability to connect to cars, shipping software to cars, allows us to deliver and develop a customer relationship in ways we've never been able to do in 119 years. So this is a really big deal for us at Ford and for me. The real revolution in auto is digital, and Ford intends to lead that revolution. We're turning our vehicles into generators of data that will receive continuous updates. We can ship software directly to the car, delivering incredible value for our customers. Now, we're just approaching 5 million software updates. We're leveraging that data in new ways, like telematics for our commercial customers in Ford Pro. We see our vehicles being able to do preventable diagnosis themselves for service. We're investing in a whole new generation of talent. Coders, software engineers from so many tech companies want to join Ford because they know we're going to ship some great software and some great products. And Thomas, I'm sorry, some of those are coming from Google. But we're really excited about all the work we're actually doing with Google, who is a fundamental change agent for this incredible change to Ford and our customers. We're supercharging our use of AI and ML to drive innovation across our company. We doubled our number of AI-powered solutions last year by putting advanced AI and ML capabilities in the hands of our employees, not just our data scientists. These advanced software tools make EV charging easier, our parts shipment more efficient. They even help us race better on the weekends. We're using Google Data Cloud to power operational data and analytics to improve our manufacturing operations, efficiency, and quality. I hear this all the time when I go to our plants. We're glad to be on this journey with a great innovative partner like Google and Google Cloud. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jim. We couldn't be happier to be strategic partners with Ford. Now, data is at the heart of digital transformation. Data is being generated at far greater rates by everything from infrastructure to consumer apps. Everyone wants to access it instantaneously, but it's often trapped in different silos and tools. Google's open data cloud enables you to aggregate and understand all your data from all your sources in all storage formats from all cloud providers and enabling all styles of access. Google's Data Cloud and BigQuery make it easy for organizations to combine all their structured data from operational databases and software as a service applications like Workday, ServiceNow, Adobe, SAP, and others, with unstructured data and semi-structured data such as log files. Did you know that over 90% of Google Data Cloud customers also access and analyze data from other clouds using Google's Data Cloud? BigQuery Omni allows you to analyze data stored in AWS, Azure, and others without needing to actually move the data, saving egress fees. From BigQuery, then, customers can use SQL queries, programs written in Spark, and built-in machine learning capabilities to analyze their data. Albertsons, a leading grocery retailer, uses Google's Data Cloud and BigQuery Omni to analyze its supply chain and order management data from both Azure and Google Cloud to improve inventory planning. BigQuery also supports key storage formats for data lakes and lakehouses through Big Lake. Big Lake now supports Apache Iceberg with the popular Delta and Hudi formats coming very soon. Users can now analyze and visualize all this data using two styles of analysis. Governed analysis, often used for official reporting and embedded in applications, and self-service analysis, which is more distributed, typically used for departmental reporting and dashboards. Google has two popular tools used by 10 million users each month for both these styles of analysis. Looker, which is widely used for governed data access, and Data Studio, a leading self-service tool for reporting, dashboards, and data visualization. Today, we're announcing unifying them with Looker and Looker Studio to give self-service analysts access to secure and governed data along with enterprise support and governance capabilities. Customers at this Wayfair are super excited about this integration. Looker also works with other popular tools like Tableau, and today we're announcing a preview of Looker support for Power BI. Let's take a look at where BI can take each and every one of you.
Google products provide the information you need when you need it. But why can't you get the same kind of answers for your business? Looker, Google Cloud's business intelligence solution, is here to solve that problem, enabling you to go beyond traditional dashboards and make your organization's information accessible and useful. Bringing this innovation to business will be revolutionary, just like navigating a city after Google Maps. Looker is Google for your business data. Here's what we mean. What if Google AI were built into the tools you use to store and analyze data at work? Google's Vertex AI Vision takes data like video, images, and audio, and in real time, turns it into structured data, ready for business intelligence. Going beyond the dashboard means using Google Glass Enterprise to see insights and recommendations based on your data in real time. More access, more transparency. Now that's Google for your business. With Google Maps, you know if a restaurant is busy before you go, or you can get rerouted around a traffic jam. Looker will help you connect similar dots in a predictive way.
A concert in 5 days will increase foot traffic by 65%. Would you like to adjust staffing and inventory?
Yes. Looker and AI lets you respond to changes in demand and turn insights into action.
Foot traffic continues to be busy. Encourage customers to visit an alternate shop with a reward card?
Yes. Smarter insights mean better experiences and happy customers. So go beyond the dashboard and transform the way you do business. Looker, powered by Google Cloud.
Data becomes even more powerful when it's used in concert with AI and machine learning. Let me introduce June Yang, Google's Cloud's Vice President of AI and Industry Solutions, to tell you more about our vision.
Thank you, Thomas. Much of the data generated these days are videos. In the past, getting useful insights from video streams in a secure and cost-effective manner has been challenging. Today, I'm excited to announce Vertex AI Vision, a fully managed end-to-end application development environment to help developers build and deploy computer vision applications easily. Let's use Vertex AI Vision for a smart city use case. Let's start by ingesting multiple video streams from traffic cameras located at busy intersections throughout the city. Next, we'll use a simple drag and drop user interface. We can choose from a library of pre-built AI models. Let's go ahead and select the occupancy analytics model for our application. Next, we will select BigQuery to store the streaming data and the model outputs. Now, we're ready to deploy the application. We can use the model outputs to perform time series forecast with BigQuery and predict future traffic patterns. As you can see, with Vertex AI Vision, developers can reduce the time required to build and deploy computer vision application from weeks to hours. An organization can create and run this application at a fraction of the cost. Stay on the topic of AI. Sundar just announced Translation Hub, our AI agent for self-serve document translation that's built for enterprises. Agents are out-of-box solution that let everyday people apply AI to common business tasks. For example, Contact Center AI helps call center reps serve customers better. Similarly, Document AI helps accelerate the interpretation and analysis of documents. Zooming in on Translation Hub. As a public health official, I need to translate this document to 50 languages. Normally, I would have to send this to a vendor, wait for 2 weeks to get this translation back. With Translation Hub, I can do it in minutes. First, I will import my document from Google Drive into Translation Hub. Next, I will select a template with my preferences, including 50 target languages and domain-specific AI model that provides a higher quality translation out of box. Now I'm ready to translate. In seconds, I get high-quality translation in all 50 languages while preserving all layout, colors, graphics, and fonts. To refine the translation further, I have the option to use human-in-the-loop capability in Translation Hub and route the document to a localization expert for review. Experts can now review and edit based on the prediction marker posted at a per sentence level. When all the edits are done, Translation Hub will rebuild the documents. Now they're ready for distribution. With Translation Hub, we can translate content to 135 languages with full layout retention and built-in human-in-the-loop content review capabilities. Thanks to the power of AI, document translation can now be done quickly, at scale, and cost-effectively. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, June. Our open data cloud simplifies access to data from software as a service applications. With SAP, we have created a framework with predefined integrations, BigQuery data models, and out-of-the-box reports. For ATB financials, month-end processes that used to take 5 hours now run in just seconds. Rodan and Fields can now analyze shopping behavior and forecast their sales more accurately. Further, over 800 software partners are building the products using our data cloud. And 17 of the most influential data companies have joined us today in the Data Cloud Alliance to commit to open standards and interoperability. Today, we're pleased to announce that we've expanded our partnerships with MongoDB, Elastic, Calibra, Palantir, ServiceNow, and many more. We also have a new partnership with Sisu Data. Now let's talk about developers and builders. Today, developers have more options than ever before. But this array of choices has often led to complexity, a loss of developer productivity, and have often exposed developers to software vulnerabilities. To address these challenges at Google Cloud, we have created opinionated golden paths, starting all the way from the IDE through the build, deploy, and operations process to help developers create software faster and more securely. Today, we're launching Software Delivery Shield, which provides a fully managed, end-to-end software supply chain security solution, from source to deployment. It has 4 important components. First is Cloud Workstations, now in public preview. Instead of being just another cloud-hosted IDE, Cloud Workstations provides a secure developer environment, especially for remote developers and contractors who work with sensitive data. Second, with our assured open source software service, Google now scans, analyzes, and fuzz tests over 250 of the most widely used Java and Python packages, providing you with secure software libraries that you can depend on. Third, Cloud Build our continuous integration service, now provides support for SALSA Level 3 compliance by default. SALSA is an emerging open standard to ensure that the software you use or your software supply chain is secure. Fourth, the new GKE Security Management Dashboard provides you with opinionated guidance to improve the security posture of your container workloads. In addition to helping you build more securely, we're also announcing a number of advances to help you build more productively. With streamlined environments centered around popular developer stacks, including Flutter and Firebase, MongoDB Atlas, Angular, and Node.js on Cloud Run, and collaborative development using Replit. To simplify how you scale and operate environments, we continue to advance GKE Autopilot. It enables developers to deploy and scale containerized applications over 2.5 times faster than the competition. Customers like Lowe's are already benefiting. Their development team now builds faster, from 1 release every 2 weeks to over 20 releases every day. The team at Allstate built an application in just 90 days to show customers how to more clearly and securely protect their homes. To help developers learn faster, we were the very first cloud provider to launch a learning subscription. Today, we're super excited to combine those learning benefits with new perks, including cloud credits, certification exam vouchers, live learning events, and even unique access to some of our superstar Google engineers and more. Now let's talk about IT people who build the infrastructure for transformation. Cloud infrastructure needs to change in 2 fundamental ways. First, customers increasingly want to use cloud infrastructure for new types of workloads. Second, with Moore's law slowing, new infrastructure advances are required to deliver performance improvements. We call this at Google workload optimized infrastructure, and we're optimizing for 7 key workloads. For AI optimized infrastructure, we built the Tensor Processing Unit. Tpu version 4 is now generally available and runs large-scale training workloads up to 80% faster and 50% cheaper. LG AI Research used TPUs to train an AI model that has 300 billion parameters, outperforming other best-in-class computing infrastructure. To extend our AI infrastructure, today we are pleased to announce a deeper strategic partnership with NVIDIA. Together, we're committed to support AI workloads using NVIDIA's latest technology, from GPUs through to managed services from NVIDIA and AI models from Google. Google and NVIDIA are also partnering to promote open source and collaborating on open AI frameworks, including OpenXLA, JAX, and MonAI. For high-performance computing, we're announcing 2 new offerings in preview. For HBC Compute, new C3 instances include the Intel Sapphire Rapid Processor with 200 gigabits per second networking, the highest available in the cloud. For high-performance storage, we offer new HyperDisk system, which delivers 80% higher IOPS by decoupling compute instance sizing from storage performance. We're also partnering with HPC leaders, including Cadence and Ansys, to optimize the performance and scale, as well as to simplify the deployment of their software in our cloud. For media streaming, we built Media CDN using a global network and our experience with YouTube. Media companies like Paramount Plus are able to deliver flawless experiences using Media CDN. For customers in regulated markets and countries with sovereignty laws, we offer sovereignty-optimized workloads. Assured workloads allow you to configure a regulatory compliant environment in just minutes. And local controls are hosted with partners such as T-Systems in Germany and Thales in France. For more traditional workloads, we're announcing new capabilities. First, with VMware Engine Universal Integration, enabling you as a user to create and migrate VMware workloads directly from the VMware console. We're also announcing Dual Run, a new capability to rehost mainframe workloads in the cloud. Now, most new projects want cloud-first optimized workloads. To simplify operations, we've automated managing and scaling clusters with GKE Autopilot and Anthos multi-cluster management. To bring you edge computing, Google Distributed Cloud Edge, powered by Anthos, provides you a fully managed edge for low latency applications. It's being used to power telecommunications networks at Bell and Jio, and is modernizing retail stores in many countries. We're also creating Web3 optimized infrastructure. Web3 leaders like Near, Nansen, Solana, Blockdaemon, Dapper Labs, and Sky Mavis use Google Cloud so they can focus on innovation. And today, I'm excited to announce an important new partnership with Coinbase. Let's welcome Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong to share more.
Thanks, Thomas. We're excited to be working with Google Cloud on this partnership. Coinbase has more than 100 million verified users, more than 14,000 institutional clients, and we've spent more than a decade building industry-leading products on top of blockchain technology. We see our collaboration with Google as an opportunity to bring Web3 to a new set of users and provide powerful solutions to founders and developers. There are 4 key aspects to our partnership. First, Coinbase will be using Google Cloud to build advanced data and analytics capabilities to better serve our customers. Google Cloud BigQuery will serve as the centerpiece of this new data processing architecture, while Vertex AI will enable Coinbase machine learning engineers to train and deploy models more rapidly and at greater scale than ever before. Combined, this new platform will enable Coinbase to streamline and rapidly scale its data processing and machine learning capabilities without being hindered by the complexity and cost of managing underlying infrastructure. Second, Coinbase Commerce enables merchants around the world to be able to accept crypto payments. Through this partnership, we're looking forward to enabling this for Google Cloud's customers and partners so that they can pay for cloud services with crypto. Third, developers will have access to Google Cloud's blockchain data through BigQuery, and this new offering will be powered by Coinbase Cloud's Node service. The integration will allow developers to instantly and reliably operate Web3-based systems without the need for expensive and complex infrastructure. And finally, Google will use Coinbase Prime for institutional crypto services like secure custody and reporting. We could not ask for a better partner to execute our vision of building a trusted bridge into the Web3 ecosystem. I started Coinbase with a desire to create a more accessible financial system for everyone. And Google's history of supporting open source and decentralized ecosystems made this a natural fit. With this partnership with Google Cloud, we've now been able to power some of that with Coinbase Cloud, and so those services will be exposed into Google Cloud. Developers can go in there and access the whole world of blockchain data, build Web3 apps very quickly without having to kind of manage and run their own nodes for all the different types of blockchains out there. So I imagine there's more and more things that we can do over time. I mean, basically we want to make commerce on the internet much more global and fair and free, democratized, and I think crypto is kind of that native currency of the internet. So hopefully Google and Coinbase can kind of integrate more and more things over time to power the global internet economy. All right, well, thank you. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Brian. Google is excited to partner with you. In order to support all of these workloads, we're continuing to invest and expand our global footprint. I'm excited to share that we're announcing new cloud regions in 5 countries: Austria, Norway, South Africa, Sweden, and Greece. We now have 48 regions live or announced. Let's talk about security people. Cybersecurity teams face a shortage of skilled professionals and threats that are growing every day in scale, sophistication, and impact. It's our responsibility to protect your privacy and security in every product we make, so that every day you're safer with Google. At Google Cloud, we've engineered security into our platform rather than bolting it on. Security operations are simplified, and shared responsibility evolves to shared fate. Our commitment to you is twofold. First, we keep you secure from cyber attacks using the expertise we've gleaned from securing our own business, our own technology infrastructure, and our billions of users. We simplify your security and compliance with our assured workload service. We deliver invisible zero trust security with BeyondCorp, ensuring that access to services are granted only to authenticated and authorized users. We protect applications from abuse and fraud with reCAPTCHA, and we provide you with the world's largest threat observatory with VirusTotal. So in short, you know what we at Google know. Second, to help you quickly and effectively identify and resolve cyber threats, we're excited to unveil Chronicle Security Operations, our suite that consolidates security analytics, security automation, and threat intelligence. Cybersecurity teams can now detect, investigate, and respond to threats with the speed, scale, and intelligence of Google. Take Vertex, a leading provider of equipment and services for data centers. Vertex uses Chronicle to ingest, analyze, and retain all security telemetry. Vertex now analyzes 22 times more security data, responds to 3 times more security events, and has reduced investigation time by 50%, with security queries now taking just seconds. Our next step with cybersecurity is to bring Mandiant and its cybersecurity experts and products to Google Cloud. Please welcome Mandiant CEO Kevin Mandia to tell you more.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Thomas. Moore's Law may be slowing down, but threat actors in cyberspace are not. Our mission at Mandiant has always been to secure companies and make them confident in their readiness as they operate their businesses. And to scale this vision, we want to take our security expertise and our threat intelligence and make it software available to all companies. And this is something we've been focused on for a long time. Mandiant is known for being, I believe, the best in the world at threat intelligence. We were designed to know more about threat actors than anybody else on the planet. And we are now combining our security expertise and our threat intel with the AI and compute speed and analytics of Google so we can bring this vision to everyone. And as a result, we can effectively automate the often human-intensive process of understanding the threat actors, find the needle in the haystack, and be able to do shields up against these attacks. And together, we can deliver on that shared mission of a more secure world. Now, security teams always ask, whenever executive staff read the headlines, hey, will that attack work on us? With Mandiant, you can answer that question. We have hundreds of researchers around the globe that speak over 30 languages, that reside in over 25 countries, that research with great rigor and discipline and catalog the fingerprints of all the intruders. One example of this is a group that we call Fin12. And Fin12 is a prolific ransomware actor. And during 2018 through 2020, they were targeting hospitals and healthcare facilities to make money and conduct crime. And we had the fingerprints of Fin12. And in 2020, we identified these TTPs, or tools, tactics, and procedures, and we were able to bring them to our customers. Because they used new and novel attacks that they circumvented conventional safeguards, we knew that our intel would be critical for our customers. And we brought that information to our customers so that they could do shields up and defend themselves. Now, having these early warning signs, or these indicators, is critical for an organization to operate confidently in cyberspace. And many times, if Fin12 was in your network, you only had an hour or so to do something about it before you had a significant, impactful breach. So with Google Cloud, we're able to analyze what's currently happening as well as historical data in Chronicle and use machine learning and data analytics to find that proverbial needle in the haystack, in this case, Fin12, but we know about the new and novel, and we learn more every single day. We can put the defenses in without requiring you to do any manual work at all. Once we know how the attackers operate, and we're usually the first to know, we can help customers take the preventive measures necessary to operate with confidence. One of those measures is security validation, where we take the attacks we're aware of, allow you to run them in a safe and simple way to see how you do against them and get unvarnished truth, whether you're secure or not. Another thing we do with our threat intelligence is we do attack surface management and let you know where your vulnerabilities are so you can do something about it. Now, I'm a big proponent of Google Cloud's shared fate model. By taking an active stake in the security posture of all of our customers, we can help organizations find and validate potential security issues before they become an impactful breach. We're excited for the future where Mandiant and Google Cloud can give customers the latest threat intelligence and cyber expertise at compute speed, delivered automatically through SaaS products and backed by the leading managed services and consulting services available. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Kevin. We're combining the expertise of Google and Mandiant with many leading cybersecurity partners to further simplify and enhance your security. To simplify multi-vendor security, we enable customers now to use their preferred identity provider, including Okta, Ping, ForgeRock, or Jump Cloud, so there's no need to maintain identities in multiple places. We've launched a new Google Cloud-ready sovereignty solutions program with Palo Alto Networks, Thales, Symantec, and many more partners. All leading endpoint security vendors, including CrowdStrike, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and Cybereason, have built solutions with the Google Cloud. We intend to keep expanding our open security ecosystem with all endpoint and other third-party security solutions to keep you secure. Now, the success of any organization hinges on unlocking the talent and productivity of its people. With hybrid work, the physical office is no longer the sole space in which people work together. This shift to hybrid has been a once-in-a-generation disruption for millions of organizations around the world. But Google Workspace was built for this very moment. Workspace is the world's most popular productivity tool with over 3 billion users and more than 8 million paying customers. Organizations don't choose Workspace to simply replace their existing tools. They choose to transform it the way in which they work. I'm pleased now to invite Aparna Pappu, who leads Google Workspace, to share more about the direction with Workspace.
Thank you, Thomas. Those are phenomenal numbers. But these aren't just numbers to us. They're real people, real organizations. And our mission is to meaningfully connect people so that they can create, build, and grow together. Every time you use Gmail, Calendar, Docs, Drive, Chat, Google Meet in your daily life, you are using Workspace. Today, we need to think about the nature of work a bit differently to provide the right physical and digital spaces for every type of employee. For example, manufacturing or healthcare workers typically need to be on site full-time. Creatives, on the other hand, might decide to come into the office for the occasional ideation session, but the rest of the time, they need a rich digital workspace. This creates a gap in experience. To close that gap and to help organizations thrive in a hybrid world, we've invested heavily in Smart Canvas, our next-generation collaboration experience, and immersive connections, our approach to bringing people together through our communication products. With Smart Canvas, a simple @ mention pulls in the right people, data, insights in a workflow directly in the places where you're already working. And now, Smart Canvas is extensible to third-party applications like Salesforce, Zendesk, Figma, and many more. Immersive Connections collapses the boundary between people, locations, and devices, making every interaction feel as if you're actually together. Features in our Google Meet product, like automatic light adjustments, so wherever you're working, you look your best, noise cancellation, and mobile companion as a second screen make it easier for people to be seen and heard, whether you're in the office or at home. And now, we're taking a step further with immersive connections with Speaker Spotlight in Google Slides, collapsing the boundary between the story and the storyteller. All of this built on a secure, private, and compliant platform. We're extending our confidentiality with client-side encryption, now in Gmail and Google Calendar, and our support for global data loss prevention in real time in Google Chat. Let's look at the digital workspace of the future. Do we really think that people are going to be searching for content, importing images, fussing with fonts, and wrestling with templates in a manual way? Here at Google, we envision a whole new era of communication, expression, and co-creation, all powered by incredible advancements in artificial intelligence. An era in which storytelling is richer, more expressive, and frankly, more fun. Where generative AI unleashes people's creativity and unlocks new workflows. Let's look at an example of how we might see this come to life here in Workspace. Amanda is a marketer at a running shoe company, footwear company, and she's been tasked with creating a video to introduce their brand new zero-carbon, high-performance running shoe. To get started, she collects relevant data and assets. Then she might type something like this: create a 90-second video for a campaign with using our brand guidelines of people running, make it outdoorsy, and maybe add some upbeat music. With the power of Google AI, Workspace takes all of this in and suggests several different creative directions for her to choose from. She likes the look of the mountain concept, and that's the one she picks. She begins to refine the idea. With the help of intelligent suggestions and iterations, she makes a few changes until she finally lands on something she loves. When Amanda's ready, she sends it to her team for review and collaboration. Of course, the team has some ideas. Google AI suggests applying some of their feedback, and Amanda accepts those suggestions and actions it directly in Google Chat. Just like that, she has a killer launch video. This is just one scenario in our mission to help people connect, create, build, and grow together. Back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Aparna. When it comes to climate change, people, governments, and corporations are more motivated than ever before, but they need access to the right information to measure and improve upon their ESG commitments. Google's search interest for how to reduce my carbon footprint has risen by 460% over the past 10 years. Today, Google Cloud is making it easier for our customers to make better sustainability decisions every single day. I'm pleased to announce that Google Cloud Carbon Footprint is now generally available and free for every user in the Cloud Console so that you can see and optimize your carbon impact. Shopify uses detailed emissions data to drive their mission to be the lowest carbon commerce platform. Earlier this year, we announced the general availability of Earth Engine on Google Cloud for better climate risk prediction and resilience. For Natural Resources Canada, Earth Engine on Google Cloud helps map the tree canopy and support models for permafrost, crop status, and water resources. With this data, provinces can monitor their land status and identify how to rehabilitate and transform these sites. Google Maps recently expanded our eco-friendly routing features to 40 new countries in Europe. I'm pleased to share that eco-friendly routing is coming soon to Google Maps platform on Google Cloud for developers and the transportation industry. Ride-sharing and delivery companies, for instance, can embed eco-friendly routes into their driver apps. To provide customers sustainability data sets and solutions, we have over 20 partners with a Google Cloud Ready sustainability designation, and a new partnership with Dun & Bradstreet and Climate Engine. Now, as we wrap this keynote, I want to share my appreciation for all of the people who are building and transforming their business with Google Cloud. On behalf of our teams, we're excited to develop technology with you today to help each of you create a more amazing and a better tomorrow. Thank you so very much, and enjoy the rest of Google Cloud Next.
Hi, I'm Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm the founder of Big Chicken.
When you're trying to build a national chain, communication is so critical. To do that, you need a great partner. And we're really lucky that partner is Google Workspace.
Google Calendar is my girlfriend. I don't know anything I'm doing unless I talk to my woman. Google Workspace, productivity and collaboration tools for all the ways you work.
Hey everybody, so I'm standing backstage at the Google Cloud's HQ
We're literally seconds away from kicking off the keynote for developer. I am so excited to share our predictions. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Hello, everyone. Please welcome Google Developers Vice President, Janine Banks.
Hello. Welcome to Next 22. I'm Janine Banks, and I lead developer products and community at Google. My team and I love empowering developers to build innovations for the future, which leads me to the theme of Next this year. Today, meet tomorrow. To tell you a little more about how we think about tomorrow, my friends and I at Google Cloud will share top technology predictions for where we believe the cloud is headed over the next 3 years. Each one of us will share the one prediction we believe will be true by the end of 2025. And we'd love to hear what predictions you all come up with too. You can do that by responding to our original video or creating your own video on YouTube Shorts or any other social video platform. Just use the hashtag Google Cloud Predictions and tell us all about it. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk about our developer community for a minute. I get most excited about the incredible ideas and new products coming from our community, as well as the opportunity we have to help developers learn, grow, and build powerful systems and engaging experiences. Google's developer community is inclusive, one where cloud developers at every level of expertise are welcome while being challenged at the same time. And being part of Google's developer community creates true economic impact because Google Cloud certified professionals are some of the highest paid in the industry. This same cloud developer community fosters the creators. And by that, I'm talking about the students, the career switchers, and anyone else hoping to become a developer who's encouraged and supported to bring their creations to life. Just like we saw with our partner in Brazil, Soul Code Academy, and one of our newest professional data engineers, Patricia. Take a look.
Tecnologia é como se fosse um bichinho que uma vez que ela te morde, não sai mais de você. Eu cursei análise e desenvolvimento de sistemas, só que eu não consegui terminar. Tinha lá aqueles formulários, né? Qual que é o seu nome, seu endereço? Mas qual que é a sua profissão? Eu não tenho profissão. Agora é a hora de eu retomar. Aí foi onde eu vi a oportunidade do Bootcamp da Soul Code Academy em parceria com o Google Cloud. E 6 meses depois, aí foi onde eu recebi o convite para poder fazer parte do time da Soul Code Academy. Só que do lado de lá. Ali o mundo, sabe quando o mundo ganha cor? Então nessa hora ficou colorido. Eu, Patrícia, mulher casada, mãe de 3 filhos, 39 anos, profissão, engenheira de dados habilitada em Google Cloud Platform.
Don't you just love Paticia's story? This is why I'm excited to come to work every single day, and the potential of what we can build together with all of you. Speaking of exciting, we recently announced a new partnership with the Drone Racing League. We built new immersive learning experiences with DRL that will blow your mind. You can participate in the Google Cloud Challenge, where you can get hands-on with DRL's race data and Google Cloud services. You can predict race outcomes, give performance tips to DRL pilots to help them smoke their competitors, and learn all at the same time. And you even get to compete for a chance to win a trip to the season finale of the league's World Championship. You can get started with the challenge right now. We look forward to seeing what you'll build next as we fly into the future of cloud together. Do you see what I did just there? Fly, drones. Okay. Are you ready? Let's go. I'll go first. My prediction is by the end of 2025, developers will start with neural inclusive design. We'll see a 5x growth in user adoption in their first 2 years in production. According to the National Institutes of Health, up to 20% of the world's population is neural distinct, with the other 80% being neurotypical. These two groups make up what is called neural diversity. And neural diversity describes the ways people experience, interpret, and process the world around them, whether in school, at work, or through social relationships. And here at Google, we believe the world and our workplace needs all types of thinkers. What do you think about that, Jim?
That's right, 1 in 5 of us here today are neurodistinct. But what is neuro-inclusive design? Neuro-inclusive design is designed for cognitive and sensory accessibility. One of the things that makes participation in meetings accessible to me is the raise hand function. It allows me to pause the cadence of the meeting to provide an opportunity to share my thoughts. Then we realized that this made meetings better for everyone. It created more structure for everybody, which enabled visibility and broader range of ideas. So neuro-inclusive design starts with raising accessibility for neurodistinct people like myself, but everyone benefits. Good design is already neuro-inclusive when implemented properly. As an example, when developing interactive and visual features, we need to consider how noise, vibrations, or pop-ups show up in design because it creates sensory stimulation that leads to distraction. Design principles can be made neuro-inclusive when you plan thoughtfully for balance, proportion, unity, light, color, space, and patterns. And here are some tips for developers. Number 1, design with simplicity and clarity. Number 2, remove distractions or extra visualizations like pop-up windows. 3, avoid really bright colors or too much of a single color. 4, stick with a predictable and intuitive user flow. 5, be thoughtful about the vibe you are setting. Do you need music or sounds to set the tone, or is that just an extra element that can create distraction? And finally, 6, stay away from pressure points requiring a quick reaction from the users. This can add unnecessary pressure. Back to you, Janine.
Thanks, Jim. This upfront design thoughtfulness is just so important. How often have any of you been pressured to ship something, but you knew you could have improved the user experience with just a little more time? At Google, we feel that ideation, user research, testing, and marketing disproportionately help teams launch more inclusive products faster. While these are standard practices in software development, when we made a conscious decision to have all types of thinkers included across these phases, our eyes opened in so many new ways to be more inclusive. For example, closed captioning in Google Meet helps all of us process information better visually. It also helps people participating in meetings where a different language is used. When you build simple, clear experiences with fewer distractions, your products will inherently drive greater user adoption. In fact, what did I say? I predict 5x more in your first 2 years in production. This is because developers like us will have built belonging directly into our products. So that's my prediction. Now I'm going to pass the mic to some of my friends here at Google Cloud to share their predictions. Thanks.
My name is Eric Brewer, and my prediction is that by the end of 2025, 4 out of 5 enterprise developers will use some form of curated open source. Now, you're probably wondering, what is curated open source? Curated open source is just open source as you know it, but with a layer of accountability. What I mean by that is curated open source comes with support for developers, and the curator in this case will focus on not just finding vulnerabilities, but helping to fix them too. They'll update old dependencies and track new ones. With curated open source, The curators will build in automations for testing, may even offer response-based SLAs. And here's why this is so important for the community. Open source is everywhere. It helps power our electrical grids, water supplies, oil pipelines. It's fundamental to all clouds, most nations, and even widely used in proprietary software. Open source is public infrastructure, and it's an essential part of our everyday lives. So now what? Open source is here to stay, but everything it powers is vulnerable. The incidents are real, and they are costly. This is why governments are stepping in with regulations like FedRAMP and executive orders to combat cybersecurity. Regulations like these are super important and show us just how deeply security vulnerabilities impact our lives. But in fact, these regulations are exactly why we need curation. Curated open source enables you to depend on the open source beyond the as-is approach we use today. We believe in this philosophy so much that we are already working on it. To help you build secure apps faster, we're releasing Software Delivery Shield. This is a fully managed security solution that protects your software supply chain from source to deployment. And as part of SDS, we have our initial curated open source example called Assured OSS. This service curates open source packages used by Google and makes them available to you, our cloud developers. Google will scan, analyze, and fuzz test more than 250 Java and Python packages for security vulnerabilities on your behalf, and we'll update them as needed. Still don't believe me that developers use some form of curation? How about this? Let us show you what we're doing at Google to make this reality. Hi, Aja.
Hey, Eric. So let's actually see what the software delivery lifecycle looks like if you use Software Delivery Shield to enforce responsible use in open source through policy. So we're going to start with Cloud Workstations, a complete development environment in the cloud. Cloud Workstations is highly customizable, and the version I'm showing today has all the tools and compilers and everything I need, including the brand new Source Protect extension. Actually, right here you can see that Source Protect has flagged a dependency with a known vulnerability. I can fix this right now on my workstation before anything is ever checked in. Now, Cloud Workstation is going to automatically detect those changes, and it's going to redeploy my app on my workstations as needed. This shortens my dev loop and makes me more productive. So when I push my changes, because I'm happy with them, Cloud Build is going to run continuous integration against our code base. Here, you can see a Cloud Build build report, and you can see that we provide SALSA Level 3 compliant build provenance. Cloud Build also scans for vulnerabilities. And here we can see a list of vulnerabilities, including details on many of them, and in some cases, even the fix that we need to make to address it. Now, it happens to be that the image that Eric and I are working with today has several external open source dependencies. For example, Spring Boot Starter. In general, pulling these directly from the internet could pose some risk. Fortunately, that dependency and many others are in the Assured OSS portfolio, so that I can use a version of that dependency that's been vetted by Google, which is what you've been telling us about.
This is exactly the point. You don't have to worry about these dependencies because they are already vetted for you.
And so now that I know that I don't have to worry as much about these dependencies, it's time to push the code to prod. So let's actually look at a delivery pipeline. Here's a Cloud Deploy delivery pipeline. Super simple one. We've just got a dev and a test environment. And when I'm happy with my code in dev, I can promote it to prod. And we can deploy to GKE. So while that's deploying, let's look at one last thing. Here's the new GKE security posture page. Here I can see security concerns on both the cluster and workload level. I can dig into any concerns if I need to, including seeing recommended actions to take to mitigate any issues that were identified. So that's the dev to prod tour of Software Delivery Shield, so you can see how it helps you use open source responsibly all the way from when you start writing code to when it's released into production.
That was great. Thank you, Aja. We love co-creating. We just want to make sure there's an added layer of accountability to better support you and the apps you build. This is why we believe that 4 out of 5 enterprise developers will use some form of curated open source. Thank you.
First off, it is so nice to see everyone here in the room. Give it up for being back in person, right? Yeah. All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Iman Ghanizada, and my prediction is that by the end of 2025, 90% of security operations workflows will be automated and managed as code. Okay, so SecOps teams are struggling to keep up with the attackers. We all know this, right? There's too much data, complex technology environments, and there's more adversaries now more than ever. I mean, every day on the news, we hear about a new 18-year-old that has breached a company, right? So let's go ahead and let's pair this with the detection and response workflow, which is notoriously centered around toil, and it requires a linear growth in people to keep up with the volume of threats. But we all know we can just hire a bunch of more people, right? Like every CISO has $1 billion in their bank, and they're just waiting to hire 700,000 people. So this inefficient workflow has basically created the cybersecurity talent shortage. There's over 700,000 unfilled cyber jobs. And these jobs, they're high stress, they're overloaded with toil-based work, and a lot of folks are quite frankly just burnt out. So there's just no way that this issue is going to get solved if we keep doing things the way that we're doing them today. So to scale security across cloud, we're going to make security more agile and accessible to everyone through code. Here's how. So our autonomic security operations framework is designed to help you take advantage of our API-first approach with Chronicle security operations and other tools, including many of those tools that are within our new Mandiant portfolio. This shift in our new framework takes traditional assembly line security operations workflows into a codified continuous feedback model we call continuous detection, continuous response, or CDCR for short. You can imagine it's kind of like CI/CD, but for threat management. We've seen customers like BBVA and NCR, and as well as our MSSP partners like Sideris, use our tools to build continuous detection and response workflows that scale across billions of alerts. And so earlier this year, we actually partnered with MITRE Ingenuity, with Sideris and others to launch Community Security Analytics. CSA is an open source repo that we created to foster community collaboration on developing security analytics for your cloud workloads. These analytics can be deployed as code to complement the native detection capabilities in Chronicle and other Google Cloud tools. So it's kind of like having a team of devs collaborating on your detection rules. So I'll show you how to deploy these rules, but first let's actually dive into an example, okay? Let's just say that there's a user outside of your DevOps team that gets access to impersonate a highly privileged production service account. That probably wouldn't be good, right? So Rule 2.20 analyzes your admin activity logs for permission grants on service accounts. And for this next part, we went ahead and pre-recorded this because we wanted to save time, and also I don't want to have you watch me fumble over my keys and take down US East or something. So first, we're starting in the terminal, and we've already cloned a private repo here. Now we're going to go ahead and open up that URL rule, and we can add parameters to fine-tune the rule to our needs. So in case you haven't noticed, Chronicle's URL syntax is very, very, very simple compared to other detection languages. Now we're going to go ahead and commit and push our changes, and we already have a GitHub action set up to auto-deploy these rules into our Chronicle instance. And by the way, Chronicle can be deployed as code, and it can scale across petabytes of data without needing infrastructure or human involvement. I mean, it's as cloud native as they come. Okay, so we're going to pivot into our Chronicle instance. We're going to refresh. And let's see, voila. Okay, boom. So there's our new rule. And from this point on, it's going to start alerting when this malicious activity is identified. We can also run a retro hunt, which essentially takes this rule and it runs it against all of our historical data in Chronicle to see if there's an alert that we missed. And we've done retro hunts with customers that have taken seconds or minutes that may have taken them hours or days with their existing tools. I mean, it's uber fast. We can also use Chronicle SOAR to create an automation playbook, basically to figure out how to respond to this type of alert. And we also have APIs to automate this entire thing from ingest to analytics to response. So the moral of the story is what? None of us want to end up on the news, right? So in order to make this 90% prediction a reality, security analysts are going to have to work a lot more like devs so that they can free up time to focus on the most important threats to their organizations. So you'll need to implement modern, developer-friendly workflows like CDCR across your detection and response practice. And what I've shown you today is how we're making it possible for you to do so. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Camilia Aryafar, and my prediction is, by the end of 2025, AI is going to be the primary driver for moving to a 4-day work week. So what does this mean to you and me? A 3-day weekend. What it actually means is being able to comfortably complete 5 days worth of work in 4 days or even less with efficiencies gained through AI. Enterprise use of AI alone exploded over the past few years, touching all aspects of business. One of the greatest reasons behind this is AI's huge potential to increase employee productivity. You have told us how excited you are to work with Google Cloud because we make all of the AI research, AI models, and ML toolkits from Google available to you as enterprise-grade products and solutions, like Vertex AI. Since its launch, Vertex AI has helped data scientists ship ML models faster into production by automating routine tasks like model management, monitoring, and versioning. With Vertex AI, data scientists can now build and train ML models 5 times faster, meaning increased time for experimentation, reduced custom coding, and the ability to move more ML models into production. Today, with the announcement of Vertex Ai Vision, we are taking this a step further and providing you with a fully managed development environment for creating computer vision applications. In the general keynote with a smart city use case, my colleague June Yang discussed how you can use Vertex AI Vision to reduce the time required to build and deploy computer vision applications from weeks to hours. Now, let's dive into 3 areas that I, as a developer, am most excited about when it comes to Vertex AI Vision. The ability to use your own custom models, integration with BigQuery, and developing external applications with SDKs. Let's see how. First, in the smart city example, we used a pre-built occupancy analytics model to detect and count vehicles. Now, if I want to do the same thing for bicycles, I can use a custom bicycle detection model in Vertex AI and easily import it into my computer vision application. Basically, if the model works in Vertex AI, then it will also work in Vertex AI Vision. Second, I want to use the power of BigQuery to combine video annotations with other information in my data warehouse. By the way, I can also store annotations in the included Vision Warehouse feature to easily search for insights across my video. By using Vertex AI Vision together with BigQuery, I can correlate traffic patterns with weather patterns, or even make a forecast with BigQuery ML to predict future traffic patterns. Finally, I can use the SDK to access process video data and annotations and hook into a live stream of vehicle counts to power other applications or dashboards. It's that simple, and it can be applied to one video stream or even hundreds of video streams. This level of flexibility and scalability is unique to Google Cloud, and that's how we help you reduce the development time for computer vision applications from weeks to hours. Not just with Vertex AI Vision, but all of Google Cloud's AI products are built to help you be more productive and delight your customers. For example, using Contact Center AI, call center teams can manage up to 28% more conversations concurrently. That means a lot more productivity. With Translation Hub, localization teams can translate documents into 135 languages in a matter of seconds, which means time saved for other efforts and a more inclusive workplace. Similarly, with Google Cloud's Recommendations AI, merchandising and e-commerce teams can now drive 40% more customer conversions. That means a lot more happy customers and a happy sales team too. When you put together all of these productivity gains powered by AI across the organization, a 4-day work week is a very distinct possibility. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Irina Farouk, and my prediction is that by the end of 2025, 90% of data will be actionable in real time using ML. I'm sure many of you are pretty skeptical of this prediction, and that's understandable. A recent survey found that only 1/3 of all companies are able to realize tangible value from their data. And we continue to hear that many of you are trying to fix that by taking on the operational burden of managing data infrastructure, moving data around, and duplicating data to make it available to the right users in the right tools. So then, how do we begin to overcome these barriers before data can be actionable in real time using ML? Since our inception, Google has been focused on delivering highly personalized information that is highly trusted by billions of people around the world. Data is in our DNA. The same data infrastructure that's allowed us to innovate is available to you, and that is why we believe we can make this prediction a reality. Take, for example, our customer, Vodafone. As one of the world's largest telecommunication companies, Vodafone unified all their data so that thousands of their employees can innovate across 700 different use cases and 5,000 real-time data feeds. They now run AI development 80% faster, more cost-effective, all without compromising governance and reliability. So then, how can we help you achieve your own data infrastructure vision? The short answer is in 3 parts. First, you can't act on data unless you can see it and trust it. Today, we're announcing automatic cataloging of all your GCP data with business context in Dataplex. And you can integrate third-party sources too. What this means is that you no longer need to spend days looking for the right data, and instead can spend time working with it. But once you find your data, how do you know you can trust it? Have you ever been in a meeting where someone questions the validity of a single data point, and then nobody can trust anything that's being presented from that point onward? That's why I'm particularly excited about the new data quality and lineage capabilities in Dataplex, bringing intelligence and automation to help you trust your data. Second, you can't act on data unless you can work with it. To innovate, you've got to be able to use the best tools for the job across all your data. Speaking of the best tools, I'm excited about BigQuery's new support for unstructured data. Now you can be sure that your BigQuery skills will pay off across all your data, from structured to semi-structured to unstructured. It is also important to be able to use the best of open source tools. Last year, we introduced our serverless Spark offering. And today, we're announcing that you can run Spark directly from BigQuery with fully integrated experience and billing. But this is still just the beginning. We have a bold vision for our Spark offering to bring the Google infrastructure magic, all without forking open source. Take, for example, MindMeld, the shuffle service powering BigQuery and Dataflow that helps deliver scale, reliability, and performance that you know and love with those services. That's coming to a Spark job soon. Lastly, you can't act on today's data tomorrow. We've heard from many of you that you struggle with making real-time, in-context experiences a reality for your own customers. Dataflow, our streaming analytics service, powers critical Google services, and we believe it can do the same for you. With Dataflow, you can use Apache Beam to build unified batch and real-time pipelines. You can start small while having the assurance that you can process real-time events at extreme scale if your application needs it. To summarize, when you can see the data, trust the data, and work with data as it's collected, we can see how 90% of data will be actionable in real time using ML, and the incredible innovation that that will unleash. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Andy Goodmans, and I predict that by the end of 2025, the barriers between transactional and analytical workloads will disappear. Traditionally, data architectures have separated these mixed workloads, and for good reason. Fundamentally, their underlying databases are built differently. Transactional databases are optimized for fast reads and writes, while analytical databases are optimized for aggregating large data sets. Because these systems are largely decoupled, many of you are struggling to piece together different solutions to build intelligent data-driven apps. For instance, to provide personalized recommendations for e-commerce, apps need to support both transactional and analytical workloads on the same data set, and without negatively impacting performance. At Google Cloud, we're uniquely positioned to solve this problem because of how we've architected our data platform. Our transactional and analytical databases are built on a highly scalable, disaggregated compute and storage system, and Google's high-performance global network, allowing us to provide tightly integrated data services. And to help you unify your data across your apps, today, I'm excited to tell you more about new capabilities we recently announced. First, Data Stream for BigQuery, which allows you to easily replicate data from transactional databases into BigQuery in real time. Next, Database Migration Service, which provides a one-click migration from Postgres into AlloyDB for operational analytics. And lastly, we support query federation with Spanner, Cloud SQL, and Bigtable right from the BigQuery console to analyze data in transactional databases. But don't take my word for it. Let's see how some of these technologies remove barriers for our fictitious company, Symbol Bank. Symbol wanted to integrate their core banking features in their app with market data to provide personalized, real-time investment dashboards. The problem was their app's backend was optimized for transactional workloads. So how do they maintain the responsiveness of their app while adding analytical goodness? Symbol Bank chose Google Cloud's new fully managed Postgres-compatible database, AlloyDB, offering the capability to analyze transactional data in real time. Now, migrating all their existing data with minimal downtime felt like a big lift for the Symbol engineers. But it turns out that Database Migration Service makes this simple. And I'll walk you through just how easy it is. Database Migration Service lets you migrate from Postgres to AlloyDB with continuous replication, minimizing downtime. Once we define where we're migrating from and what we're moving our data into, we can see the prerequisites for the migration directly in your UI. Sources are defined using profiles which contain host, username, and password, and you can predefine them like I've done here for Symbol's Postgres instance. Here we define our destination and some basic configuration options, and then we get to hit Create. This part will take a few minutes, so I've sped up time a little bit. Once it finishes, a quick test to ensure that it will all work, and then hit Create and Start. Once the initial dump is finished, we're now in a state where we have both the old and new database populated with our live data continuously replicating from old to new. And that means we can do cool stuff like testing the performance of our new investment features against both the existing production Postgres database and the new AlloyDB database side by side. Since AlloyDB is fully compatible with Postgres, you don't have to make any application changes. And as you can see, we're getting much better performance out of the new AlloyDB backend. AlloyDB is 4 times faster for transactional workloads and up to 100 times faster for analytical queries compared to standard Postgres, making it the perfect database for these kind of hybrid workloads. We all want to act on data in real time without the toil of infrastructure assembly and operations. We've given you a taste of how Google Cloud makes it easier for you to build data-driven apps on a unified platform. And this is why I predict that by the end of 2025, the barriers between transactional and analytical workloads will disappear. Thanks.
My name is Amin Vedat, and my prediction is, by the end of 2025, over half of cloud infrastructure decisions will be automated based on an organization's usage patterns to meet performance and reliability needs. At Google, we believe the work we do today with our partners will define the next generation of infrastructure for the world. While some people look at infrastructure as a commodity, we see it as a source of inspiration. This inspiration comes from delivering capabilities not available anywhere else and pulling in the future by operating at a level of reliability and scale that might otherwise seem unimaginable. Our infrastructure is designed with the scale-out capability needed to support billions of users who use services like Search, YouTube, Gmail, and our cloud services each and every day. We pioneered the model of entire buildings operating as a single computing and storage system. And with Spanner, we showed how services could run reliably at scale across the planet. And we've experienced network innovations like Google Global Cache, B4, and Jupyter, shortening distances across the planet. This gave us the opportunity to reimagine what was possible from infrastructure in terms of scale and capability. Look at the world around us. The time for disruptive innovation has never been more profound. We're seeing incredible demand on the industry's infrastructure, yet simultaneous plateaus in efficiency. You and your companies continue to push the boundaries of what infrastructure can provide. Yet the burden of picking the just right combination of components continues to fall on you. To address this, we've engineered golden paths from silicon to the console. These paths combine purpose-built infrastructure, prescriptive architectures, and an ecosystem to deliver workload-optimized, ultra-reliable infrastructure. So let's talk about the investments we're making in infrastructure at Google in power and performance to make all of this possible. We partnered with Intel to co-design and build custom silicon like this little thing. This is called an Infrastructure Processing Unit, or IPU, and it gives you massive performance and scalability to power high-performance, data-intensive apps. These IPUs are at the heart of our new C3 VMs. C3s include the latest generation Intel Sapphire Rapids processor and custom-designed offload based on the IPU that delivers 200 gigabit per second low-latency networking. And coupled with our new block storage hyperdisk, they can provide incredible storage performance. Now, let me show you something else. From the small to the big, meet the hardware behind the new tensor processing unit, the Tpu V4 platform. It's likely the world's fastest, largest, and most efficient machine learning supercomputer. This liquid-cooled board is a beast in both power and performance density. You see these pipes running across it, running chilled water over the board. They're there to ensure you extract the highest level of efficiency from this hardware. It allows secure, isolated access, and is at the cutting edge of services like natural language understanding, recommender systems, and image processing. The TPU makes large-scale training workloads up to 80% faster and up to 50% cheaper compared to alternatives. When you talk about nearly doubling performance for half the cost, you unlock your imagination in terms of what just might be possible. The same IPUs and TPUs that power your services are the foundation that will enable us to automate over half of cloud infrastructure decisions in the next couple of years. They will support the telemetry data and ML-based analytics to proactively recommend the best infrastructure. It will be based on an understanding of how infrastructure balance points correspond to performance and reliability for your individual workloads. We don't think that you should have to think about hardware specifications. That is last generation cloud thinking. You will specify a workload and will quickly recommend, configure, and place the best option for you based on your price, performance, and scale needs. We know that these automated, adaptive decisions deliver lower cost, more performance, and higher reliability than any handcrafted solution. So is my prediction that over half of cloud infrastructure decisions will be automated based on an organization's usage pattern correct? Honestly, I think it's going to be much higher than that. It has to be in order to keep up with all the advancements you're making in technology. The burden and complexity of infrastructure decision-making you have today will disappear through the power of AI and ML automation. And when you have freedom to focus on your solution delivery, the rate of innovation and customer benefits will only accelerate. While cloud has been transformative, we are still at the early stages. We're excited to continue to make the unimaginable possible and the possible easy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Teron Giannini, and my prediction is that by the end of 2025, 3 out of 4 developers will lead with sustainability as their primary development principle. For the longest time, the focus was elsewhere. We needed to build it fast, build it securely, build it as simply as possible, build it at the lowest cost, build it reliably. Well, now it's also time to build it sustainably. We can't ignore the urgency required from all of us to meet climate targets. And while organizations are moving in the right direction, they struggle to take action. 65% of IT executives said they want to improve their sustainability efforts, but don't know how to do it. 36% of them said they didn't even have the measurement tools in place to track sustainability progress. So, how can we help them out? We can give them better data about the environmental footprint of their business. So today, I am excited to announce that Google Cloud Carbon Footprint, which helps you measure, report, and reduce your cloud carbon emissions, is now generally available. Let's take a look. Right from the Cloud Console, you can access the carbon footprint dashboard of your account. The underlying methodology is quite unique and is based on actual measurements of the energy used by machines in our data centers. It is also the complete picture of your emissions. Not only emissions coming from electricity production, but also on-site fossil fuel emissions and other embodied emissions coming from data center hardware. This is also known as scopes 1, 2, and 3. And of course, you can break down the data by Google Cloud Project, Google Cloud Region, and Google Cloud Product. With a simple click, you can export your cloud emissions data to BigQuery for further analysis and to provide your sustainability teams with the data they need to report on your company's emissions. We also want to help you build new applications that emit less carbon by making the right choice at the right time. Let's say you want to deploy a new application to the US West Coast. From a latency perspective, all of these options are very similar. Without more info, you might have picked Las Vegas, which happens to have a relatively carbon-intense electricity grid. But up in Oregon, you'd find a very clean grid, full of hydropower and therefore low carbon intensity. That is why it is indicated as a low-carbon region. In fact, a simple choice of Oregon over Las Vegas can reduce your gross electricity emissions of running that app by about 80%. And with this move, you not only saved carbon, You also saved money, since a compute engine VM is cheaper in Oregon. A move that can help you save money and carbon is easy to make. When we tested this feature, we noticed new users were 50% more likely to choose a low-carbon region when they saw the icon. And that can make a very big difference. So, how do we make it easy to identify more opportunities to lower your carbon emissions and deliver those options at scale? Well, Active Assist now shares recommendations to remove idle resources and their associated emissions. Actually, all of the sustainability features I just showed you today are embedded into Google Cloud Console and documentation. They are available out of the box at no charge and for all developers. Sustainability is too important to be complicated. Before I go, here are two things to remember. One, moving to Google Cloud gives you the efficiency gains and energy benefits to reduce your emissions. Two, when you build on the cloud, pick the region with the lowest carbon impact for your application. Because these tools are available, I believe that by 2025, 3 out of 4 developers will lead with sustainability as their primary development principle. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I don't know why I did jazz hands. Let's play with that weird energy though, together here today. Let's go. Good, so hi, my name's Richard Seroder. My prediction for you today is that by the end of 2025, over half of all organizations using public cloud are actually gonna freely switch their primary cloud as a result of all these new multi-cloud capabilities available. So quick story, I recently moved from the Seattle area to San Diego after a vacation this year with my family. We realized we needed something different. So bought a house in San Diego before I finally sold the house in Washington. And for a weird time there, I was multi-house, and that was not good. But it wasn't my desired end state, but that's okay. Sometimes you're in these multi-situations while you transfer from one state to another. And that's related to my prediction here. I think in the years ahead, we're gonna see companies use a multi-cloud strategy, not just as a way to hedge their bets, but as a way to actually switch from their first cloud to their next cloud. So research data shows that the majority of companies are actually multi-cloud today, meaning they use more than one hyperscale cloud. Sounds probably pretty familiar to most of you. I'm personally talking to more and more companies, though, that they're using multi-cloud technologies as a way not to shift just their workloads, but their mind share to a different cloud as well. So let's see what that journey might look like. What would that look like? Let's look at like 3 different steps. We'll do some live demos, what can go wrong. So first, that first part of the journey is how do we meet you where you are today with what you got? You probably use another cloud. That's totally cool. Nobody's perfect. But here at Google Cloud, we've made some unique investments in a multi-cloud management plane that works with your compute and your data, even if it's on other clouds. So in this first step, you're starting to use Google Cloud, but you want to incorporate existing investments in other ones. So consistency matters a ton here, and Anthos plays a huge part. Let's see how. So first off, if you'll see here, I actually have an EKS cluster I built, and I've actually attached this to the Anthos control plane. From here, I can manage the cluster, I can view workloads, I can deploy things, I can troubleshoot, I can apply common policies. And even with our recent partnership and collaboration with the Crossplane project, I can actually create and manage GKE clusters, AKS clusters, EKS clusters, provision and manage them all the same way from Google Cloud, which is pretty cool. Now, what do you do with your data? We talked about compute. If I think about my data, how do I analyze all this? We know that data transfer costs are real. Consolidation isn't always the right option. And so for financial, strategic, or even policy reasons, your organization might need data in different clouds. It's okay. So with BigQuery Omni, I can actually have my data lake in Amazon S3 or here in my Azure Storage account, and I don't have to move the data to actually run my queries against it in BigQuery. I can actually analyze it where it resides without moving the data. So this is one of many cloud services that actually work wherever you are, whether they run across clouds or actually integrate with the different clouds. It's a big deal. So that's a starter phase, right? I'm building skills, I'm moving, kind of comfort in this new home I have, but I haven't moved really anything. So some of you might think this is where you stop, right? Multi-cloud is just to use a bunch of clouds, but I don't think so. I think many are going a step further. So in the second stage, you start upgrading your tech where it is and growing your adoption of that secondary cloud. So step 2, as I start using Google Cloud Services, let's say things like GKE, which are awesome, I want to use it even more and more. So I might introduce things like Anthos clusters to Azure and AWS. This is the GKE API and GKE software running across clouds, which is amazing. And just now, we just shipped the capability where I can even upgrade those clusters in place on another cloud from the Google Cloud Console. That's awesome. I don't have to jump all over the place to run all my infrastructure. Now here, you might also start creating a multi-cloud mesh and say, look, I want to actually maintain services that run across clusters in different clouds. In this particular mesh, my web app is spread across GKE, EKS clusters, all of these different places. I'm actually able to manage those services and see them and connect them wherever they are. Now let's talk about data. At this point in the game, you might use our great service data stream to redirect your existing Aurora cluster in AWS from Redshift. Maybe you want to steer it to BigQuery instead. And I actually built a stream that connects from my Aurora database and feeds the data in real time to BigQuery. Pretty awesome stuff. So use data stream to move data around as well. So that's cool. So for some, multi-cloud is a bit of a phase. It's not a permanent state. You're not trying to get there. Your final stage could be a full-on migration to your new primary cloud. So once you've invested in Google Cloud, you might start taking advantage of really awesome stuff like GKE Autopilot. This is a fully managed Kubernetes environment where we are running the whole thing. You don't manage clusters. You just deal with your workloads. It's awesome and exclusive to Google Cloud. Now, what's really cool is you may also continue to use Anthos on Google Cloud to manage all of your fleets of GKE clusters in all of our regions around the world. I'm showing you some new dashboards here that are coming out. And this actually lets me manage not just my GKE clusters, but I'm managing on-prem, bare metal, VMware, Edge, doesn't matter. I'm getting a view of my entire fleet and managing that. So now you get things like BigQuery for analytics, you're in Google Cloud, Spanner for distributed data, AI/ML for amazing insights, all these unique developer tools and more. So look, if you forget everything else that I've talked about here today, remember that Google Cloud has a really unique management plane that meets you where you are, but honestly takes you further. So this is why I believe over half of companies using public cloud today will freely switch their primary provider in the coming years as a result of all these great multi-cloud capabilities. Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Jana Mandic, and my prediction is that by the end of 2025, over half of all business applications will be built by users who do not identify as professional developers today. One of the most interesting opportunities as organizations evolve is that we will continue to see more development work in the enterprise taken up by teams and individuals outside of central IT. The adoption of no-code and low-code tools will unlock this potential by making the development process easier for more users. How many times have you been asked to do something, but you had to say no because your roadmap or feature request lists were already way too long? Well, with these tools, those business users you had to say no to can instead create apps and workflow automations themselves with no programming skills required. These no-code and low-code apps will be built collaboratively with developers like you who will provide the guardrails to keep the business secure while enabling business users to deliver their own solutions. And I'm not alone in thinking this prediction will come true. Leading tech analyst Gartner forecasts that by 2025, 70% of new applications developed by organizations will use low-code or no-code technologies. That's up from less than 25% in 2020. Organizations are getting ready for this change, and our customers are already moving in this direction. Globe Telecom, a major telco out of the Philippines, reduced targeted business process turnaround time by 80% through experiences built by their citizen developers. And now, it's demo time. Let me show you how Google Workspace's app sheet is making all this possible today and in the future. Now I'm going to be Anne Gray, a business analyst, trying to help my team save time managing request approvals. Currently, the process is manual and disorganized, spread across ad hoc emails and chat messages. So to fix that, first I'm going to build a no-code request approval app, and then I'll show you how my team and I can use this app to efficiently manage our development workflow, our approval workflow. With AppSheet, I have a single place to store my data and build my apps. I can also connect to other easy-to-use data sources like Sheets, or with the help of IT, I could connect to Cloud DBs. Let me show you the solution that I could build as a business user. Here's my database. AppSheet helps me structure my data and prep it for app building. When I'm ready, I can create a new application with a single click. This creates a prototype app that will be usable on any desktop or mobile device. After some customization, here's what I've built. I have a new request view for users to make requests, and an approval view for approvers to do their thing. Each of these views is available to me in mobile apps and desktop apps by default, and I can also configure them to show up in Gmail and chat, meeting my users where they are. Here is my Google Chat app. With this, my users can make requests directly from their team chat space, and it's reusing the same request view I configured earlier. Here's my automation that will send the approval view to the approvers in email. When I'm happy with my app, I can share it with my users, and I can add it to my chat spaces. Throughout this whole process, everything I created is controlled by governing policies set by the company's Workspace admin. For example, here's what happens if I try to share the app outside of my domain. AppSheet blocks me and keeps company data secure. This allows IT to do two things. One, keep a clear line of sight on all apps so they can deprecate, update, and retire them when necessary. And two, restrict access to only those users who need it. Now let me show you how my colleague Jeffrey and I can use this app to manage our request and approval workflow. I'll be Jeffrey now. I'm on Anne's team, and I have a request to make. Let me ask Anne how to use her new app. She's added the bot to the space, and now I can quickly submit my reimbursement request. Okay, now I'll be Anne again. I got this email for Jeffrey's request. I can review and approve it directly from here. And if I have a pile of requests to review, I don't have to click through individual emails. I can pop into the app and see everything in one place. This app is accessible to all the users, requesters and approvers. With simple Sheets-like expressions, it's configured so the requesters see only their own requests and approvers see all the information that they need. You saw just how easy we are making it for non-technical users to create business applications that meet their immediate needs. With no-code and low-code, you and your business users now have more tools to work with. This is why I believe that over half of all business apps will be built by users who don't identify as professional developers today. Thank you.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on our predictions. We're excited about the conversations this will start and continue with all of you. Remember, if you want to share your own prediction, use the hashtag Google Cloud Predictions to tell us all about it. We can't wait to hear from you. Thank you for your continued inspiration and for partnering with us to build what's next. So, are you ready? Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Please welcome Google Cloud's Head of Developer Communities, Ashley Willis.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for as long as you have. I'm sure you were like, I'm ready to go. My name is Ashley Willis. I'm head of developer communities at Google Cloud. I'm also a wife and mother to 3 beautiful kids, some of whom are watching today. Thanks for watching. And today I'd like to talk about something a little bit different than my colleagues have been on stage. It's something that affects all of us in one way or another, and that thing is burnout. Needless to say, I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose any of you with burnout, but I have experienced this numerous times over my careers, but we're gonna talk more about that later. Today's talk will focus on why I think burnout exists, some of the ways that you can identify it, and for the managers in the room, I'm going to give you some tips to keep you from burning your people out. But first, I think it's helpful to start with a definition of burnout. Burnout can be really difficult to describe because it's not necessarily one medical condition in itself. But according to the APA Dictionary of Psychology, burnout is defined as physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion accompanied by decreased motivation, lowered performance, and negative attitudes towards oneself and others. Is any of this starting to sound a little bit too familiar? Yes? Good. So be honest, this is a very safe space. This is a small room. How many of you have experienced burnout? Yes. The good and bad news is that you are not alone. Employee well-being is a new workplace imperative, and we are hearing our managers talk a lot about employee morale, what can we do for people, and the term quiet quitting is kind of setting the internet on fire. So a recent Gallup study cited that about 74% of workers have experienced burnout on the job, and 40% said that they experienced it specifically during the pandemic. And I don't know about you, but I found those numbers to be shocking. And because it's so hard to recover from burnout, people will sometimes leave entire industries trying to escape it. For example, I used to be a commercial photographer, a software engineer, and as you may have noticed by my slides, I was also a graphic designer, or still am. An Ashley of all trades, if you will. So I ran a consulting business for about 10 years. My business was actually doing well, it was thriving, but I had burnt out so bad that I decided to do something completely new, learn a completely new skill in my 30s, and then I entered the corporate world again, and here I am. So why are we like this? I think that there are a few things that factor into burnout, but the one that I'd like to talk about today is status. A status symbol you see in a car or a fancy watch, or maybe you live in a really nice house, but the point is that status was visible to the world. And now I think status is about being busy. We're keeping up with the Joneses along with a fancy car or a nice watch. I see you all pre-ordering your Teslas. So imagine for a moment that somebody's like, hey, how are you doing? The normal answer is, oh man, I'm really busy, or I'm really tired, because we are overscheduled. We even overschedule our kids. Our vacations are scheduled, all of it. If your calendar isn't filled with back-to-backs, are you even important? If you are not sharing a selfie at that tourist trap, did you even vacation? By the way, this is Hootie the Owl, and if you are looking for a good owl cafe in Tokyo, hit me up. I know where to send you. Which brings me to social media. So social media is involved in every aspect of our daily lives. We are more online than ever, and we are constantly sharing the highlight reels. But it's not enough just to be on social media anymore. We all want to be influencers. We want all of the likes and all of the engagement. We really need that attention. And so we're trying to keep up with our peers, and we've prioritized this public perception over our own mental health. And through social psychology, we actually know that this negatively increases the frequency of our own self-evaluation, of our appearance, our health, and even our jobs. I like to say that every like equals 1 serotonin, and that might not be too far from the truth, because my little heart flutters every time I see a notification. I'm like, yes, more likes. So it's kind of like that 1985 Oscar speech from Sally Fields where she's like, you like me, you really like me. So that's normal, though. We require connection. And in fact, connection is known to reduce anxiety, stress, and depression. Socializing helps us learn to navigate and cope with life's challenges and can boost our self-esteem. And it also helps us avoid loneliness. So in a lot of ways, social media helps us create those connections. But the life that we lead on social media is an idealized version of ourselves. We are not connecting authentically. So it's no wonder we're all stressed out. We're constantly trying to keep up, we're constantly doom scrolling, and we're constantly available. If I don't answer that call or that text, will they think I'm lazy or unreliable? What if they reach out to somebody instead? How can I be the hero in this situation? Which leads to what I like to call the hero syndrome. The addiction to being a hero is no different than any other addiction. As a hero, you spend most of the time trying to save the day and not enough time sharing knowledge with other people. That lack of knowledge transfer can cause many single points of failure across your business, also known as the Lotto Factor. Take Jane, for example, who works as a software engineer at a fast-growing startup. If Jane wins the Lotto tomorrow, she is not coming to work. So who can pick up Jane's workload when she doesn't show up? Because no matter hardworking or heroic Jane might be, she will ultimately burn herself out. Nobody can keep up that pace forever. So do not be a hero is the lesson you should learn from that. So how long do you think it takes to recover from burnout? A month? 6 weeks? All of you are wrong. The answer is going to surprise you because it surprised me. On average, it takes 2 years to recover from burnout. That's right. Which makes sense because it probably took you just as long to get there in the first place. Burnout does not happen over a single project. It's caused by repetitive stress and lack of work-life balance over several years. The trouble is that by the time you feel like you're burnt out, you're probably already there, and that's why taking your vacation does not always help. Vacation should be proactive instead of reactive. So now that we've talked about some of the reasons why I think burnout exists, let's talk about what the burnout cycle looks like. There's 7 phases here, and I'm going to take you through those now. So phase 1 is the honeymoon phase. I am really excited about this. I'm happy, I'm committed, I'm energetic. And this is especially true when we've started a new job. We're solving hard problems and we have this compulsion to prove ourselves. That's normal. Your productivity levels are at an all-time high. It's great. Phase 2 is the onset of stress. This phase begins with an awareness that some days are more difficult than others, and you find that you're just not as optimistic as you once were. You're more tired than normal, like sleepy all day and then up all night thinking about work. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Yes? Phase 3 is neglecting yourself. By this point, some people are postponing self-care just to get the job done, and nobody likes pepperoni on their keyboard. Maybe you're ordering takeout because you don't have enough time to cook a healthy meal. I spend way too much money on DoorDash. Or maybe you're just dunking your kids' dino nuggets in ketchup and sadness. Another example might be you canceling plans because you just cannot enjoy a night out with that looming workload. It's terrible. Maybe you're engaging in really unhealthy coping mechanisms like drinking too much just to get your mind to stop racing. Phase 4 is interpersonal problems at home and at work. And that's my kid, who I'm completely ignoring. And so is your family checking in a lot? Is the vibe just generally off? There's a tension and you can't really put your finger on it, but work is really stressful, and that's starting to bleed into your home life. You're snapping at your kids, you're canceling plans, the things that you used to love just aren't as much fun anymore. Does it sound a little bit like depression? That's probably because burnout is often diagnosed as depression. When we reach this phase, we're just not present anymore, and I don't know about you, but I feel like a bad partner, a bad coworker, a bad parent. It feels like I'm feeling everyone, so why bother trying? Phase 5 is reduced performance and cognitive problems. That's right. That's me just scrolling through TikTok. So burnout and chronic stress is actually known to interfere with your ability to pay attention and concentrate. Distracted breaks become much longer, and you just can't seem to concentrate no matter how hard you try. And when we're stressed, our attention narrows and even small tasks become a huge burden. So there I am, again, spending my afternoon on TikTok because I know I have a lot of work to do, I just don't know how to do it. So phase 6, I cannot get excited about work anymore. By this point, I'm done, I'm 3 cups of coffee in, we're done. But now I'm feeling a little bit cynical about my working conditions and even my coworkers. I can't seem to get ahead no matter how hard I try, and the workload is so big that I don't even know how to ask for help at this point. Phase 7 is physical symptoms. So experts know that chronic stress can create real health problems like digestive issues, heart disease, and depression. And according to an ITA group study, employees who say that they burned out are 23% more likely to visit an emergency room. When you're tired all day and thinking about work all night, of course that's going to trigger something physical. And phase 8 is total burnout. And here you can see my soul departing to the great work stream in the sky. It's at this point that I just do not trust myself anymore, and I doubt whether or not I'm even qualified for my job. By now, I feel like the only way to recover is to find a new job. And spoiler alert, that's not going to help you either. That is merely a Band-Aid for a much larger problem. And this isn't necessarily a phase, but as a developer, I thought that this was a really cool visual of burnout. You can see that really strong commit history in those first 2 years. And this is from Johnny Holloman on Twitter. He's great, but he said that what got him there was 5 years working day and night on his own app. So you can see by years 3 and 4, that's total burnout. He's done. He's not committing anymore. He's done. And there have been some studies that talk about open source and burnout. And for anyone that's contributing to open source, if you're not doing it as part of your job, developers say that it gives them energy, which makes a lot of sense. But if you're like Johnny and you're trying to get paid through open source, it's really hard to say no, and it can lead to burnout. So we'll talk about boundary setting a little bit later. I think that that's really important. But if you're feeling any of this, here's the good news. There really are things that you can do about it. And I found that some of the things I'm going to list in a minute were really helpful. So here are 7 tips to help you avoid burnout. The first one is to get clarity. A Gallup study cited that actually only half of workers know what's expected of them. Think about that for a moment. Do you know what's expected of you? Raise your hands if you do. I see you here, yes. All workers, though, regardless of age or stage in their career, want to know what's expected of them. And those lack of clear expectations will create anxiety and frustration. Even if your employees feel energized, those who lack clear expectations and spend too much time working on the wrong things can't create value for their organization. And they will exhaust themselves trying to figure out what it is that they are supposed to be doing. Number 2 is to stop multitasking. You're not good at it, I promise. You're really not. Multitasking actually reduces your productivity because your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. The more we multitask, the less we achieve and learn. It's because we divide our attention and don't allow enough time and space to do deeper processing and learning. This continued context switching definitely leads to burnout. So if you're at capacity and your manager asks you to do one more thing, ask your manager to help you prioritize your to-do list. What is something that you can drop to take on this new thing? The short answer is that it cannot be the baby. We cannot drop the baby. Number 3 is to set healthy boundaries. Listen, we cannot be mad at our managers for asking us what we can handle. We are all adults here, and your manager expects you to know and communicate your limits. Saying no helps you and your coworkers. Your entire organization actually benefits from you setting healthy boundaries, because when you burn out from being a hero, who has to pick up your workload? Likely your peers. Burnout is contagious. It creates both upstream and downstream implications for everyone involved. Number 4 is to take control of your notifications. Every time your phone buzzes, you get that shot of dopamine, but your body is tensing and reacting. It's spending energy needlessly. Unless you're on pager duty, there is nothing that cannot wait until tomorrow. Number 5 is to find something outside of work that you're passionate about. This is me nicely asking you to get a hobby. Please, all of you get a hobby. Something that's challenging and engaging, because research shows that if people with hobbies are less likely to suffer from stress and depression. When you stake your entire self-worth on your job, you become less resilient to things like layoffs or negative performance reviews. It also makes it really hard to switch off after work. Number 6 is to have a clear separation between home and work. Is the Roomba cat landing? That's my favorite part. So I understand that having a dedicated workspace is not a privilege that everyone has. But where you work plays a huge role in your productivity. If you work in front of the TV, you're basically setting yourself up for an unplanned Netflix marathon. Speaking of, has everyone seen season 4 of Stranger Things? It's great. I highly recommend it. But the point is that having a dedicated space for work that's a healthy distance from your relaxing and eating spaces will create that separation from home and work, which is very important for healthy work-life balance. Number 7 is to get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation and burnout actually go hand in hand. In fact, the National Sleep Foundation says that sleeping less than 6 hours a night is one of the best predictors of on-the-job burnout. Most of us have an awareness that sleeping better will help us perform better at work, but a lot of us have a hard time putting that into practice. And you're not alone, because the National Sleep Foundation did a poll in 2018 that showed only 10% of American adults actually prioritize their sleep. And I have also found that 0% of children prioritize their parents' sleep. So you might as well get it while you can. So now that I've given you some tips to help you identify and avoid burnout as an individual, I'd like to dedicate some time to helping the managers in the room. This is arguably the most important section of my presentation, because I believe that poor management is directly responsible for burnout. A Harvard Business Review survey revealed that 58% of people trust a stranger more than their own boss. And employees who feel strongly supported by their managers are 70% less likely to burn out. So here are some tips for you managers. Be clear about your expectations. I made this comic as a joke, but you're in a one-on-one, and your manager's like, hey, what's the status of that thing? And you're like, I didn't even know about that thing. Those are the unspoken objectives. And I am totally nailing them, always. So how many of you here have experienced this? Yes, there are some hands that should be up, I know it. But as a manager, it is your job to remove this guesswork that creates anxiety. Make sure that you are communicating early and often. And repeat yourself until you're sick of hearing it, because the average person needs to hear something 7 times before they act on it. 7 times. Side note, this is also a great tip for when you need to get laundry or dishes done. Yeah, 7 times to your kids, for those of you. Okay. Number 2 is to help them understand their value. Why is meaning and purpose. It's there to guide you and your employees through the day-to-day, and when your employees know why they're doing something, they're more enthusiastic and dedicated. Everyone wants to know that what they're doing is meaningful, otherwise what's the point? 3, enforce reasonable work hours, and that doesn't always mean 9 to 5. My working hours might not be your working hours, but if a project is taking someone 80 hours a week to complete, then as a manager, I have a resource problem that I need to solve. Number 4, try not to send email or messages after work. There's that schedule button in your email. We should use that. Use that. Do not underestimate the influence you have on your team. People will feel obligated to respond to you, even if you tell them that they do not have to. I see some of you in your signature line. You're like, you only respond on your own time, whatever. It doesn't matter what you say. It only matters what you do. Number 5, encourage people to take all of their vacation time, and you take yours as well. You need to model the behavior that you want to see. And many people don't take vacation because they have anxiety about the workload that they will have when they return. So as a manager, meet with your people and see what you can remove from their plate so that they can relax while they're out. Number 6, have regular one-on-ones and actively listen. Do they sound stressed out or overworked? Can you take something off of their plate? If you're taking notes during the one-on-one, you are not actively listening. Remember what I said about multitasking? You're not good at it. So I suggest that you recap at the end by saying, what I heard was, and then repeat back what you heard and send an email recap after the meeting. Number 7, do not only recognize the big wins. We do this a lot. Our jobs are mainly a combination of small wins, and us managers have a tendency to only recognize the big ones. So people crave recognition. Show them that you appreciate them early and often, otherwise they're going to kill themselves trying to figure out how they're supposed to gain your approval. And you will unintentionally create a bunch of competing heroes. So this next section is Q&A. I've done this talk a couple of times, and I have 3 questions here that I get asked the most. The first one is, I heard you say that it can take 2 years to recover from burnout, but I don't have 2 years. So I did consult a professional about this talk in general, but specifically this question. And my friend Lindsay Paoli is a licensed therapist and founder of the Mind Fundamentals. And she says that we often believe that this is an all or nothing thing, and it's not. If you start incorporating small things like movement, intention, deep connections, fresh air, go touch some grass, you'll start to see results. So she suggests you start layering these things into your day every single day while mindfully knowing why you're doing it. Like, hey, I'm feeling burnt out. These are the things I'm doing very intentionally. And then you will start to see results towards recovery. Question 2 is, I have a friend who's burnt out. How do I help them? We have a tendency to want to solve our friends' problems. Don't do that. Just listen. If they've never heard of burnout before, maybe you can forward them some articles and then suggest that they talk to a professional, or maybe send them this talk. Number 3 is, how do I restore work-life balance? Remember when I said you need to hear something 7 times, so this is number 2. Back to question number 1. Go outside, touch grass, move your body, talk to your friends, stop canceling your plans, figure out who on your team can help you with your workload, have an honest conversation with your manager. Your manager really does want you to succeed. Something that I did, though, was I turned my entire garage into a maker space. I like to build things, so I put a 3D printer out there. I have a glow forge. I have all of my soldering stuff, and these are some of the things that I've done recently. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend hacking on things. I'm going to add some lights to something here. But in closing, get a hobby, but also, if your family is telling you, like, hey, something's off, you need to slow down, those are the people that know you best and they want the best for you. Listen to them, take a moment, take a breath. We are all in this together, and I hope that everything that I've said here has helped you in some way. I will be mingling around here. I'm happy to talk about this at length. Thank you.